Hello and welcome to Movie Mayhem here at Superior Works Cinema, where we watch all the movies. Today we're doing an actor series entry on Jackie Chan. I haven't started Jackie's yet, and I'm not sure why. I think I was kind of on hiatus when The Last Police Story came out. So, obviously I'm a big Jackie fan. Actor series are the movies where I collect every movie from an actor. And Jackie, I do have them all. And boy, including the really weird ones, like there's some, I think it's an Indonesian film where he shows up for like 2 minutes. But I tracked it down, I have it on DVD. So, anyway, this is the brand new one, Dragon Blade, with, I think it comes out in the States later this year. This is the import from China. It's got Adrien Brody and John Cusack. Both Adrien Brody and John Cusack are playing Roman legionnaires too, whereas so it's kind of a weird concept when I heard about it. Like, wait, what? So first I'll say it's a pretty good movie. It's directed by Daniel Lee. He's kind of hit or miss for me, really. 14 Blades, good action sequences, but his narrative will kind of drag a little bit. He did do Black Mask, but I don't know if I can just say that was fantastic. I mean, but he had Jet Li, Yin Wu Ping, and Soy Hark on board crafting it, so it didn't have some of his things. His traditional, a little bit slow, a little bit safe. And that is one thing I want to point out in modern Chinese cinema, is it's very safe. You're not going to get your... well, I mean, they got rid of Cat 3 entirely, so obviously the violence can only go so far. Well, I take that back. Cat 3 does exist, but it's nowhere near what Cat 3 was in Hong Kong era movies. You know, but most movies are going to be Cat 2, which is roughly equivalent to a tamer PG-13 for us. So you're not going to get a lot of the violence, but that could be okay. But also, most of their films feel very feel-good, very safe. You're not going to get anything that would ever question the government ideals. I mean, they do have to be screened to get the certification, so if something is not cool by the government, they're going to get chopped to pieces or just never released. So I get that. So you have that problem off the bat. Let's start with the good. The action scenes, really cool. Fight scenes, very well done. Very good to watch. Fun. This is more Little Big Soldier Jackie. He's not going brutal serious, but seriously in tone. This is not comedic, obviously. And they have some large battle sequences with like the Huns and the Uyghurs and everybody fighting all at once. Gigantic like Battle of the Army sequence, which is really cool. Watching the Legionnaires fight against the Kung Fu, really cool. So, action scenes, fantastic. The big battle's fantastic. Totally worth watching it. So, fault number one, a lot of Chinese films use Anglo actors, whether they be British, South African, American, whatever. And I've really noticed, for some reason, when they deliver lines, they're either really awkwardly spoken, like stiff, like I want to go here, like they almost don't know English, but they do. Or they're way overacted. In this case, Adrien Brody, way overacted, and Cusack, a little bit stiff. And I'm guessing it's because maybe the director's grasp on English is a little sketchy, so it kind of... You know, he tells him to do more, and it sounds good to him, but then to a native English speaker, it's a little like, well, it seems kind of over the top. You know, it's not horrible, it's not enough to completely suck you out, but this is like Adrien Brody's impression of Nicolas Cage, so it's kind of... so the interesting thing about this, I'm not going to do spoilers, again, on these new movies when I review them, I try really to keep the spoilers to none, so you can watch the movie still. There is a weirdness to this movie, what I don't understand. Obviously, it's all set in the past, right? But there's a wraparound. it maybe accounts for 5 to 7 minutes of the whole movie. In the beginning, it's modern times, and they go find an excavation site where they find the city, and they use some satellite imaging and laser technology to recreate what the city would have looked like in the past. And then we cut to the whole movie, the entire movie. The movie finishes, and then we cut back to them again, kind of reminiscing about it and going, oh, that was so great. Much like, similar in concept to a Titanic, how they did the rap with that, except it didn't have any bearing on the story. I honestly felt like the wraparound took away from the impact of the story, and it served no purpose. So, if you guys watch this, I'm really curious what you guys think of that, but that portion especially, if you can figure out, did I miss something? I just don't understand why it was there, unless they were afraid to do a historical movie, so by slapping that on, it becomes not a historical movie. Other than that, I mean, it does indulge in one of my pet peeves, flashbacking to stuff I've seen in the movie 30 minutes prior to remind us of what we've seen, which really, that's totally fine if we're watching a whodunit and you're flashing back to clues I might have missed. But when you're flashing back to major story points, I don't need that. I can handle remembering what I watched in a single film. And like I said, it's kind of it's very happy feeling. This is you're not going to feel any tension. So I'd say watch this for the action and for the combat and for the fighting. Jackie's acting is actually great in this. And it's kind of violent in parts too, which is pretty cool. So the overall story feels very safe. It's very predictable what's going to happen. And it's got a nice positive message about everybody working together and global peace kind of thing. And I think that's cool. So it's definitely worth a watch. Overall, I'd probably give it a 7. Because I did quite enjoy it. And I like seeing Jackie, so it gets a bonus for Jackie. Without Jackie, I would probably lower this down to a 6, and that's going to hold true for most of my actor series. Some of them, I just like seeing that particular actor do their stuff, and especially Jackie. I love seeing him do stuff. It's great. It always entertains me. It makes me feel happy when I watch it. It's cool. Now, interestingly, this has a bonus feature. If you ever get Blu-rays out of China, they don't usually have anything at all. They're just annoyingly bare bones. This has a feature, making a featurette. Nothing cool, but it is something. I don't know when this is coming out in the States, and I always get the Chinese movies from overseas. Well, not even Chinese, even the Korean ones I usually buy imported. Because of the Weinsteins. They I'm on a little sidebar here. We'll talk about what happened. If you don't know what happened with them, back in the 90s, they wanted to make Jackie break here again after, the unsuccessful attempt in the early 80s, like when they tried to make Jackie into Charlie Bronson or some nonsense. But in the 90s, they tried it again with Rumble in the Bronx. So, this time there was not a lot of it. I already had Rumble in the Bronx. I had gotten it off a Laserdisc from Hong Kong. Fantastic film. I really loved it. It was a great movie. And I heard it was coming out here, so of course I had to go support Jackie. I go to the theater and I watch this movie. I knew it was going to be dubbed. That's okay, fine. I'm really against dubbing. It was tolerable dubbing. However, what was not tolerable was the butchering of the film. They cut 20 minutes out, an entire character out, a whole subplot out, and basically all the heart of the film. Then they continued to do that with First Strike, Operation Condor 2, it's Armor of God 2, Operation Condor. I don't know what the hell it's called in the States. They did it with that too. And the Weinsteins went on a rampage of grabbing all these fantastic pieces of Asian cinema, because I know they do it to Korean movies too, and just butchering them. Now, this would be fine and dandy if I could go get that version easily. Now, let's say you want to see the uncut Rumble in the Bronx. Fuck you. Unless you got it early. I got it when it first got pressed on DVD. So I have, from Hong Kong, not here, I have the uncut version. That's the only legit way you can get the damn thing. And that's bullshit. First Strike, same problem. Drunken Master 2, or Legend of Drunken Master, same problem. They bought the global rights and eradicated all other versions. So even if you buy the movie from China, you're getting the Weinstein cut. It's just, ugh. I mean, it's frustrating that China doesn't care enough about their films to save archives, and that's why it's so hard to get some films. You can't even find decent prints of them. You end up finding a better print out of France of Once Upon a Time in China 4 and 5 than exists anywhere else, which makes no sense, right? But, you know, for whatever reason, they think by their editing and cutting is going to make it sell better, and fine, maybe they sell an extra 10 copies of a movie, but it's not cool, and I don't want to watch butchered movies. So that's why I always go ahead and just order the stuff immediately from China, so I've got the original version, and I don't have to worry about if they're going to release it here uncut or not. Well Go is a good company. They've been really cool about that. Sometimes you don't get you get the 3D versions of some stuff. Personally, I don't give a crap about a 3D version, but at least they don't cut the movies and they release nice versions. So they're a good company for that. And of course, your awesome companies like your Shout Factory and those guys that have kind of touched on it and hinted they're going to be releasing some more Jackie this year uncut, which would be amazing. You got those. So that's why I do it. Anyway, it's a pretty cool flick. I do recommend checking it out. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a little lighter fare, not the super serious like 1911 and Police Story 2013. So you get a little more back to the fun Jackie, and I like it. It's not a balls out action flick. Again, for Jackie, there are some other guys in here that fight really good, so you kind of get away with it that way. Plus, you get the big battle sequences. So that was a cool flick. Let me know any other movies you want to check out, any other ideas for Jackie you want me to talk about, and we'll see you here next time at Movie Mayhem.